Imagine sitting at a table. You're surrounded by the people who love you most in this world. The smell of a perfectly cooked meal is filling the air, the kind of meal that's supposed to mean something, a celebration, a moment of connection. But you aren't there. Not really. I was sitting at that restaurant, but my mind was miles away, trapped in a digital cage. Earlier that morning, a toxic manager, the kind who thrives on chaos, had spiraled over a client issue that the client didn't even care about. He'd forced the entire team into a Google Meet to discuss how to fix a problem that didn't even exist. I could not leave the table because I had to be with my family. So I did what we all do in this broken, modern age. I compromised. I put in my earphones while I was eating. I was listening to corporate nonsense on my phone in one ear and trying to eat with the other half of my attention. Because of this one person's ego, I sat there with a plate of food I could not touch. I was waiting for a meeting to finally be over that probably did not need to happen at all. But because of him, it had to happen right then. While I was sitting at a table full of people who loved me, with a meal in front of me that I never actually got to taste. If you've ever felt like your brain is a television tuned to 10 different channels at once, if you've ever felt like you're losing your grip on your own life because the world won't stop screaming at you, then welcome to the club. This is the reality of the overstimulated, unfocused brain. But today, we're ending the static. Today, we're taking the crown back. I lived like that for 6 months. 6 months of my brain being hijacked. Do you know what that does to a person? Most mornings during that period, the first thought in my mind was hoping I hadn't received any messages from that person overnight. My brain was stuck in a constant state of fight or flight. When you're constantly overstimulated, you lose the ability to focus on what matters. Your work suffers, your relationships crumble, and you become a shadow of yourself. You're physically present, but mentally, you're a ghost. I tried the productivity apps. I tried the hacks. Nothing worked. Why? Because the fixes only work after you name the thing that is breaking you. The first thing I did to fix my brain was stop calling it stress or burnout. I had to get surgical. I sat down and realized that my brain wasn't broken, it was being invaded. The thing breaking me was a specific toxic dynamic where I had allowed someone else's emergency to become my reality. You cannot fix a leak if you don't know where the hole is. For me, the hole was that Google Meet at the dinner table. It was the always-on culture. Once I named it, once I said, this manager's lack of boundaries is the poison, the solution became clear. Emperor's lesson. You can't defeat an enemy you refuse to identify. What is the one thing currently draining your battery? Name it. The second thing? I banned split attention living. Look at that restaurant scene again. I was trying to do 2 things at once and I failed at both. I didn't solve the work problem and I didn't enjoy my family. I stopped trying to multitask the important moments. If I'm at dinner, the phone is in the car. Not in my pocket, not face down on the table, in the car. If I'm at work, the family stuff waits. Your brain is not a processor that can run 2 heavy programs at once without overheating. When you try to be everywhere, you end up nowhere. Remember how I said my first thought was checking for messages? That was the third thing I had to kill. The first hour of your day is the threshold. If you let a toxic manager, a news headline, or a social media comment into your brain during that hour, you've lost the day. You've handed the keys to your kingdom to a stranger. I started a no-input morning. No emails, no Slack, no checking. I forced my brain to start in a state of creation, not reaction. I stopped looking for messages from people who were breaking me and started looking for the man I wanted to become. Point 4 is about the physical body. In that restaurant, I never actually got to taste my food. Overstimulation is a sensory heist. It steals your ability to feel, taste, and hear. To fix my brain, I had to practice sensory re-anchoring. When you eat, taste the food. When you walk, feel the ground. I started doing this specifically during meals. I would describe the flavor of the food in my head. Why? Because it forces your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for focus, to override the static of your anxiety. The fifth thing I did was a toxic audit. I looked at the person who forced that Google Meet on a family dinner. I looked at the 6 months of anxiety they caused me, and I asked myself, is the paycheck worth the price of my soul? Sometimes, fixing your brain isn't about meditation or supplements. It's about surgery. It's about removing the people or environments that thrive on your overstimulation. I had to set boundaries that were non-negotiable. I told myself, I will never again wear an earphone at a dinner table for a man who wouldn't care if I dropped dead tomorrow. Number 6, I turned my phone into a tool, not a master. The overstimulated brain is a product of the infinite scroll and the instant reply. I turned off every single notification that wasn't from a human being I actually love. If my toxic manager messaged me, I'd see it when I chose to open the app, not when he chose to vibrate my pocket. I took back the notification sovereignty. Your phone should work for you, not the other way around. Finally, the 7th thing, and the hardest, was learning to be bored again. An overstimulated brain is addicted to dopamine. We reach for the phone in the elevator. We check our emails in the bathroom. We put in earphones at the restaurant because we're afraid of the silence. I started training for stillness. 5 minutes a day of sitting with no input, just me and the thing that was breaking me. In that silence, I found the clarity to realize that the world won't end if I'm not reachable for an hour. The world won't end if a client issue waits until Monday. I went back to that restaurant recently. Same table, same family. This time, my phone was in the car. This time, there was no Google Meet in my ear. I tasted the food. I heard my daughter's laugh. I felt the warmth of the room. And for the first time in 6 months, the static in my brain was gone. The fixes worked, but only because I was brave enough to name the monster. I stopped letting a toxic environment dictate my internal peace. Shadow Emperors, look at your life. Are you sitting at a table full of people who love you, but listening to a world that doesn't? Are you staring at a life you've forgotten how to taste? It's time to name the thing that's breaking you. It's time to take your focus back, because an emperor who cannot control his own mind can never hope to lead his empire. Stop the noise. Start the work. I'll see you at the top.